I do hear there's a dive master here. Bill?
Bill, we're talking about you.
Bill's busy. It's nice to know that there's a dev master here. So I'm a CTO type. So I'll kind of go into the product angle of AI. Now, before I go there, so I'm going to talk about Yahoo. So first off, raise your hands. How many of you know Yahoo? That's an important question. Keep your hands raised. All right, this will be a test of your exercise. That'll be the next one. But how many of you who have your hands raised have a Yahoo email address? Okay, I mean, still, it's pretty interesting. How many of you, wait, keep it up. How many of you use it as your primary email address? All right, diehards. I vote. That's awesome. So if I do the same question to an audience where I'm presenting to a college grad, nobody knows Yahoo. So glad to be in the company of people who know Yahoo. So what I'm going to talk about is AI deployments and Yahoo and scale and the complexities of it. So we've kind of, I look at AI in kind of three parts. One is the product part of AI, which is there's a product and AI is integrated into the product. The second part I'd say is making software development better. And Subbu talked about that fairly deeply. And the last part is like the Gen AI pieces, which is like bots and like how customer service and interaction with customers and all that. So roughly three different parts. I'm going to focus on the first part, right? So customers are more likely to engage with products that have personalization in them. It's very clear. I don't think I need to go deeply into this one, right? But the personalization needs to be appropriate and correct. And AI is part of the personalization, right? So Yahoo is billions of users coming to Yahoo's homepage. So the monthly actives for Yahoo was a billion about 7 years ago, I'd say. So pretty fairly substantial in terms of scale. Now, what would AI be for a billion people coming and reading news, watching sports, doing their finances at Yahoo? By the way, I should ask, how many of you are ex-Yahoos here? All right, one. We'll do the Yahoo later. Yes. So what should it look like, and how hard is it to achieve that, right? And what it should like is pretty easy for all of us to understand. You come to Yahoo, you get exactly what you want to see at that moment. That's it, right? And it's personalized to you, not to a persona of you, but to you. And do this at scale, and do this at scale deployed, served at a speed where you come to the page and instantly it's there for you. It's not like it takes a second or 2 seconds for it to happen. Yahoo's homepage is one of the fastest homepages. So I'll quickly go into what are the challenges? Now, let me paint the picture. Yahoo is a company which is about 15,000 employees, 3 divisions, let's say. There's this ads division because Yahoo makes a ton of money on ads. So ads division is about 4,000 people. Yahoo is a super good platform company. Tons of platforms came out of Yahoo. Hadoop came out of Yahoo. So the platform division is about another 4,000 people. Then another 4,000 people, I'd say the third division, which is media, which was me. And so the media division is the one that does a homepage, sports, finance, all of the media properties that you're aware of, including mail, right? So the challenge, this itself poses a challenge. This is how Yahoo was structured. Right? Imagine the data silos in each of these divisions. The ads targeting team wants to hold their data, so that's in this division. And then there is the platform team, which owns personalization, or like we called it Slingstone, was the name we used for Yahoo's personalization engine. And so that was there. So that they owned their data. And then the media team, which is my team, we owned our data, all the engagements of sports and finance. And these were not the same. Right? And then the third part, this is the worst part of it. Each division had partitioned the homepage. If you look at the Yahoo's homepage, there was a banner, and then there's like a stream of content, and then there's left rail and right rail. So the ads team had taken over like that box. The homepage team can't touch that box. The homepage team had this box, right? And the platform team had trending and stuff, the right rail boxes. So each of them had their boxes, and they were operating in their boxes. Nobody was operating on the whole page. Right? So these were the challenges. How did we solve the challenges? For a company that's 15 years old, right, with a lot of legacy. I'd say two things. The key first thing is the customer-first mentality. Marissa did that really well, brought in customer-first mentality into the company. And then every future leader did that well too. With Marissa was a turning point, Marissa Myers, the CEO. Understand what value are you delivering to your customers. So that's what customer-first mentality to me means. Not how are you optimizing your box. Like optimizing your box is easy. That may not deliver customer first. The customer is looking at the entire thing. Customer does not understand these divisions that you have. Then the second thing is focus on trust. Personalization works only when you gain the user's trust. And that comes in as thumbs up, thumbs down, a particular article. I like it, I don't like it. Or show why a particular article was shown to the user. This was shown because you liked politics. Right? So imbibing that was the first step from a strategy perspective. Then comes the actual things that we did in terms of fixing the system. Unified data, I'm not going to tell more about it. It is absolutely essential. It was a 2-year journey to unify data at Yahoo across all of these properties. But it was essential. Without that, non-starter. The next thing was this owning the customer experience. The most critical piece of it is owning the customer experience. So someone had to take ownership of the entire customer experience. Now, this is a parallel that you will see in all your organizations, because each of you may be in a certain organization where you're not really developing a product, but even if you're in a bank or anything, who owns the customer? Not a slice of the customer, or not one interaction of a customer, but the customer. Very, very important. Right? So in our case, media, we took ownership of the customer. The entire page and its experience was our problem. Right? Third, aligning the organization. The Slingstone team, the personalization team, was reporting into the platform division. We said, well, move it to the media division, because that's the primary use of this technology. Align the people developing the technology to the place where the technology is deployed, to the customer. Fourth, this was marketing, personas. Now, how many of you are in marketing and know personas and stuff? Yes, few. So at Yahoo, we had 8 personas, because marketing team comes up with all this fancy user experience questions and comes up with. But truly, there was not 8 personas. There was like thousands of personas of people coming and looking at the homepage. And the same person coming in the morning versus evening looked different to us, because their experience was different. They were looking for different things. So we had to turn from 8 personas to infinite personas. Let personalization handle it. Not lock people into a persona and decide. And lastly, we had our model. I mean, the technology piece is the easiest one, honestly speaking. Building a model and putting a model in place, feature store, and then getting personalization working from a tech perspective was actually the easiest of all of this. The hardest was making sure these organizations can work together. There's a unified store across 15,000 people. And closing the loop on the model. A lot of these models were not updated consistently. Activity didn't feed back into the model. So closing that loop of making the model update, not in real time, but in pseudo real time. I'd say most of the models today, DeepSeek does that really well. It has the feedback loop built in. ChatGPT and others are probably more static models that get updated, revved. And the way they solve the problem is using the context. You put more context into your prompt, and that's how you get updates. So those were kind of the top things we did to solve this whole personalization problem for Yahoo. The human factor, I'm going to stress on this human factor. Most of the solves, the organization solve, the data solve, the ownership mentality solve, and the personas and all of this were truly human problems. They were not a technology problem. For a tech company like Yahoo, technology was not the problem. Technology was easy. And honestly, for all of you, technology is actually the easiest of all problems, I'd say, because it's available or you're building it, either way. If you're Meta, you're building it. If you're not Meta, you already have it, Claude, or ChatGPT, or you name your pick. Most of it will work well for you. But adopting this into your organization is going to be the hardest problem you're going to deal with. And then not micro-adopting it into one particular path. Instead, adopting it, understanding what the customer's problem is. And one more thing is empowering product marketing, like enabling every department to be able to do their job without having to come and stand in line with anybody. That's going to be important for unlocking the power of all your organizations. So I'm going to kind of conclude fast into saying, there's trust stacks are much more interesting than tech stacks. And personalization, I'd say, it begins with the purpose, not with algorithms or predictions or any of those. So focus on purpose, focus on trust, and re-engineer your organizations. You will actually have higher success with AI. Definitely at Yahoo, we had a pretty good success with AI. Scribd was the same story. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up there. I'll take any questions.
For you? Questions?
So Yahoo did not have this issue of data being fragmented because Yahoo properties, at least pre-Marissa Mayer, was actually unified. The data was unified, and it was flowing across all the different properties. So was there a drift that happened, and then you had to reunify? Is that what happened?
Correct. So for Yahoo, as different CEOs took over and transitions, but every company, as it goes through multiple years, the tech debt builds up, and then different parts of the company starts building their own silos of data to solve their own small problem. And then they don't unify it back together. All right.
Another question?
Can you elaborate on your trust stack concept?
I like that too. I wrote it down.
Yeah, no, the trust stack has two predominant thoughts in my head. One is trust to the user, as in how do you display trust to the user? The marketing team, it's almost marketing to the user that it's trustworthy. Apple's ad is a classic example. They don't say anything about anything. They just say, Apple is trust. It's a great message. WhatsApp's trying to do the same thing. Now, and in the product, you have to do it. So as long as you do that, then you start to gain the front end of the trust stack. And the back end of the trust stack is in the accuracy and how you unify data, how you use the user's problem as the central problem that you're solving, as opposed to limiting yourself with what your technology can give you. The technology is later. So that's primarily what I say trust stack is user-facing trust, where you gain the user's trust, and you have the customer-first trust mentality inside your own thinking. That's it, as best I can.
Let's see. I saw a question over here, but I didn't catch who it was.
Was there one more question?
There may be.
All right.
Or not. Okay, well, thank you so much, DP.
Thank you all.
Really appreciate it. Thank you again.